What's going on, everybody? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Adam Rodriguez here with us. Penny Dreadful, City of Angels, coming to Showtime. What's going on, man?
Oh man, everything. A whole lot in this house. Yeah, nonstop action. It's actually at the end of every day, I'm amazed by how fast the days can go by when you're just at home. I'm like, you think, oh, I'm gonna have the day off. I'm gonna get all this stuff done. I've had, however, 60 something days off now. And I still haven't gotten everything done. I think I'm gonna get done.
Yeah, the days don't drag, and people are watching stuff and reading stuff and hanging out with their kids. Like, there are just endless amounts of things to do right now.
Flying by. But Penny Dreadful coming this Sunday to Showtime. This is Sunday, April 26th at 10 p.m., 9 Central. And this is, I got to say, man, this is the most incredible production I've ever worked on. I mean, on every level: set design, cinematography, costumes, props, the material itself, what's being said through the writing and the characters and the story are really some important themes that I think people really need to pay attention to right now more than ever. And so I'm really excited for people to get a chance to see this show and hopefully fall in love with it.
It sounds really fascinating. I was talking to Danny Zavato a couple days ago, and he was saying, like, they created this whole world for you guys. It's like there's the milkman and the old cars, and it's like you actually feel like you're in the 30s. Like, it must have been amazing for you guys.
It was mind-blowing. I remember after the first day of shooting, I reached out to a couple of departments directly. I reached out to Christy Wittenbottom, and I reached out to the woman who did such an incredible job with the set design, Maria, and I'm blanking out on her name, but I had to call them just to say, thank you for your talent, for the gifts that you brought to this, because you created a space for me to completely be transported into this world and do my job on another level. And I was really grateful for that. It was exactly that. It was being transported to another time period. It allowed you to really just live and exist as the character in those moments.
You mentioned the fact that there's a lot of different layers to this show, not only the fact that it already had its original life and now it's a new iteration, but just the themes that we're dealing with here. What fascinated you the most just about the subject matter of the show?
What fascinated me the most, and I guess it continues to fascinate me, that just as a species, we seem to not be quick learners. This show takes place in 1938. Here we are 92 years later, and we're dealing with all of the same challenges without having made very much progress in almost 100 years. We're dealing with compromising people that we consider to have lesser value than us, and we come up with every reason under the sun to decide why they have lesser value. They have a different socioeconomic status, different skin color, different ethnic origin, you name it. You don't like the neighborhood they're from, whatever it is, and we do that as human beings. It makes it easy to really just dehumanize people and move them out of the way for whatever we think our grand cause is. And in this case, it's building the 110 freeway in Los Angeles, amongst other things. But that's at the core of my character's battle, is to try and stop this freeway from being built and families being displaced and jobs being lost and people, being put out of work and having their lives turned upside down.
It must be pretty interesting going back and like learning about the building of a freeway, because it's like these have just been infrastructures for decades and decades. Like, I'm in the New York area, and it's like Robert Moses, what he did with the highways, like he was trying to prevent specific people from being able to travel, and like same sort of themes going on here.
100%. Yeah. Robert Moses was quite a vehement, racist and a whole bunch of other things that people really, just a fascinating character. I mean, an absolutely fascinating character. But deplorable human being. I guess that word deplorable is sort of lost its meaning these days, but some people might wear that as a badge of honor, but he really was a pretty lousy human being. and it's the same thing. I mean, it's just, look, when there's an inability to consider really just the most simple thing, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have done to yourself. There's so many ways to skin a cat, so many ways to accomplish the goals that we think are going to improve life for mankind and, in our individual societies. And, unfortunately, most often people want to go the path of least resistance. And that always ends up being the people that are easiest to just, mow down or bowl over or whatever, and that's what this story is about. And it's interesting how all of these ways come together with this overarching spiritual element to it of just boiling it down to good and evil. And I think that like I said, I mean, these themes are really, they're powerful, they're strong, they're unfortunately timeless, and the way that they are constructed in this story, I think really going to resonate with people. And there's just something for everybody here. If you love costumes, if you love that time period, the music, the language, the mannerisms, all of it is just really so much fun to watch. It was incredible to be a part of, and I am just like, I'm really over the moon about people getting a chance to see this show this weekend.
People also love Nathan Lane, so that's another way for people to get in.
How can you not? I love Nathan Lane as well. More so now, having worked with him than ever before. And, I think people are going to see him in a light that they have never seen him before. He really, he's a different person. If you think you've seen Nathan Lane, I think maybe unless you've seen him in Angels in America, I don't think that you've seen him. I shouldn't say anybody else. I haven't seen him transform this way. He's a completely different, character than you've ever seen before. And I was just amazed by his work. I'm excited for people to see that as well. And just a great cast. Everybody's so solid. Natalie Dormer, Daniel Zavato that you mentioned. We've got some young actors on the show, Jonathan Nieves and Jessica Garza, who are, tremendous, and watch them grow over the course of this season, both on screen in their characters and as real people. And then we have the matriarch of our family, a woman named Adriana Barraza, who is an Oscar-nominated actress and just an absolute force of nature, and you will see that on the show. She's absolutely unbelievable.
So you've had this really nice run on TV. When you think about this show, CSI Miami, Criminal Minds, what's it been like for you to grow with the TV business? Because it's just been nuts how it's exploded the last 5 years.
It's really incredible. I mean, when I started out in the business, the goal was to be a movie actor, because that's where the great stories, the greatest stories were being told, and the talent was most concentrated in those areas. And that's what most people aspired to be when they entered the business, because that was the kind of material you wanted to be able to participate in. In bringing to life. And now with the golden age of television here, and having been here now for several years, I think that's where it's at now. I think now the best stories being told are being told on television series, and they are being done so well at such a high level that, it's like a dream come true. Literally, this job was a dream come true for that reason, because there was no expense spared. I mean, like I said, every last detail, from down to the shoelaces, to the watch, to the ring, to the props of every kind. Everything was letter perfect, and it felt like working on a movie that I might have once dreamed about working on. And so, it's been a great ride for me. I've had some really fortunate runs on some great television shows that I love being a part of. And it's really nice to have all that time build up into something like this, where artistically, I think that this is on another level, and it feels like progress for my career. So I'm really, really happy about that.
Yeah, it must be interesting for you, look, because you have the TV shows, you have this, and it's like you do the Magic Mike movies too, where it's just like, those become like this huge sensation, and you're just like, what? I just thought it was going to be another thing. So like, what was the craziest part of that experience?
Oh man, that, I think the craziest part of it was the kind of phenomenon it did become. I mean, it really, it just really hit something in the zeitgeist that resonated, and people, I mean, they've built a live show on it. We did a sequel to the movie, and there's something about Magic Mike that has even become part of the lexicon of, Americana now, maybe even bigger than America. You
Mm-hmm.
know, shows exist in Germany, in Australia, and uh, in the UK. There are these live shows now with Magic Mike, and the movie obviously had worldwide success. And so that was, I don't think any of us expected it. I'll tell you what, when we were doing the movie, there was a moment in time, maybe a few weeks into shooting, 2 weeks into shooting, where the energy was so great, it was so special, that we all sort of looked at each other one day and we were like, we've got something going on here. Like there's some, not, no pun intended, but I mean, there was some magic happening, and you knew it. We all had enough experience working in the business to know that sometimes, when you feel that jazz happening, that something good is cooking. We could smell what the Rock was cooking. So we kind of, we felt good about it. I don't think anybody could have predicted the kind of success it had, but we knew that we were doing something that was going to resonate to some degree. Maybe just didn't understand how bigly it was going to resonate. But yeah, it really was. It was special, and really my favorite part about the whole thing was, I mean, the challenge of it was incredible, because it was a huge challenge as an actor to get in that kind of shape, prepare those kind of dance routines. I'd never done anything like that before. But the best thing that came from it, aside from that growth, or in addition to that growth, were the friendships. There's some really genuine and long-lasting friendships have grown out of that have added a lot to my life, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to the experience for that.
Definitely. So when people check out the show this weekend, what are some big things you want them to be thinking about?
I want people to really. What would be great would be to enjoy the show for what it is, which is entertainment, but to scratch the surface, dig deeper. It won't be that hard. The material's that good. The themes are that strong. The characters are that rich. But just try and walk away from the show with having learned something, having felt something, to really put yourself in the shoes of all of the people in the show, and try and identify with what they're going through, and then try to relate it to the world we're living in now. And those people that you don't like when you're watching the show, try and find them in real life, and try and pay attention to who those people are, because they're out there, I promise. And the people that you gravitate towards and feel like they are your heroes, try and find those people in real life and gravitate towards them and emulate them. And, and just really try and take something positive away from the show that's going to not just improve your life, but maybe even improve the lives of those around you, as I think that's the kind of work that was done on this show. And I'd be mission accomplished for sure. I know John Logan would agree, our fearless showrunner and creator, that if we could all walk away from this, having learned something and being better people from it, then that's a big mission accomplished.
Well said, Adam. Thanks for hanging out, man. And we'll talk to you down the road. All right.
Yeah, my pleasure, DJ. Take care, man.